All right, welcome to our coffee chats, morning chats.
Morning chats. It's a delicious one.
It is
Americano.
You know, the reason we do these is because everything that we learn that we honestly feel has an impact in our own life, we want to share with you guys, and we want to give you guys that same insight, especially if it's a nugget or something that we feel that is going to set a course direction for us. That's really going to help us achieve what we're looking to do. We want to make that. We want to share that with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're inspired daily. I think there's people that inspire us, and there's whether we're listening to a podcast, whether we're reading a good book, and we feel that has a direct correlation to success in all endeavors of life, and especially as a realtor. So we like to share it with you. We like to help, and I think I like how Mark Wahlberg talks about it: inspire to be better. We want you to be inspired to be better every day, and see where you want to go. You have that direction that you want to be in. That big why, I think, is that sail that you set.
Totally. So today's topic is on direction, actually, and it's a large part, in where are you going to see yourself in 12 months, or where are you actually going to end up in 12 months. Yeah. And a great leader to follow is a guy named Andy Stanley, and I started following him after seeing him in a leadership event, and I heard him speak yesterday, and Marcus did too, and we were listening to him. And he's an incredible counselor, right? Like he's met with a ton of different people, and I think that this is something that I found so fascinating about it is that in the direction that you're walking versus your intention will determine your destination. Now that may seem like, oh, that totally makes sense, but just think about it this way. How much in life do we go, in the future, I'd like to be maybe, at home more with my family, or in the future, I'd like to lose some weight, or in the future, I'd like to be like this. But right now, in this moment, I'm going to, eat this cupcake, or I'm going to, or I'm going to work all these extra hours, or whatever it may be. Right. And we almost live in the stage of where our mind's out here of where we want to be. But right now in this moment, how bad can it be to just make these little decisions along the way?
Instant gratification.
Yeah, instant gratification, kind of like the immediate versus the ultimate. And I think what I found
indulgence versus self-control.
And there's a powerful quote, which is that how you live each day is in fact how you spend your life. And I think that that's a powerful quote, and it actually ties really well into what we're talking about today, which is that we have great intentions. I think if you sit down with most people, they'll have really good intentions. They'll have good intentions for what they want to do with their family, or if you got kids, you want to invest in their lives, you want to be present. If you've got a business and you want to grow it, you've got great intentions for it. That's why you're in it.
Yeah.
And I think what hit me and struck me with this message, and he was drawing these parallels, which is, unfortunately, intentions don't amount to much at all.
No.
And it's actually the daily steps that you take that seem so minute and seem so almost inconsequential that are actually determine where you're going to end up in 12 months. And I'm hoping this resonates with you as much as it did with me yesterday. And here's the analogy, in a way, like if you want to think about it in a different way, like if you can think of all of the memories in your life, good or bad, they're all in the rearview mirror, right? Like everything's kind of in the rearview mirror. But what's beside you every day when you're driving in that car, like all those memories are behind you, is the satisfaction of knowing that you're doing what you wanted to be doing, and you're living up, and you're living at the level of life that you actually had intended, like your intentions. And when you're literally, the expectations of what you want in your life are sitting beside you. So for example, let's say I have all the great memories of or let's just say even all the times I miss spending time with my kids, or I spent time with my kids, that's all in the rearview mirror. But knowing that I'm spending more time with my kids every single day going forward, and it's happening right now, that's what's beside me. And that's how you know that you're living a satisfied life, a life of fulfillment, because it's not your intentions that you actually wanted for your life are being lived in the day, right now, presently, as you're moving forward. And as you go through life, you think about the next year, the next 5 years, that satisfaction of knowing that you're doing what you actually wanted to be doing is so much more rewarding than the dissatisfaction of being like, man, I wish I had done that, but you know what? In the future I will, but still I won't make much of a course correction now.
Yeah. I mean, you can apply that to every area of your life. In the future, I'm going to start setting aside 10% into savings. In the future, I'm going to start heading to the gym. In the future, right? And that intention has to be so clear and crystallized that it actually becomes a habit. And that's why there's so much power in creating a habit that if you start doing, it becomes part of who you are. And you actually work habits, I think, because the hard part is that beginning to implement it and bring into your life. But once you start doing it consistently, it just becomes part of who you are and your lifestyle. And so you don't even have to use willpower to do that. You have to use willpower to create new habits. But after a while, you want to just start in I think, integrating certain habits in your life that you want to create this lifestyle. Because then it will just become part of your identity. And you won't even think like, every decision you make will be filtered through those core values. So I think it does start with what you want to accomplish, and then you can study. You can study the most successful people in whatever realm that is. I mean, I don't think we live in a day and age where like there's just so much wealth of information to find out what you want to accomplish and what field you want to accomplish and what aspect of your life you want to accomplish, whether it's health, finances, success, personal development. I mean, and then you just find something that uniquely you can take away and then make it every day a part of your life. And I think that's no different. You know, if that's spending time with your kids, you say, okay, when I go to work, I'm present at work. But when I get home, I'm going to spend the first 30 minutes. Even if you don't have to go all or nothing. It could be something as simple as, if you know that it's really hard for you to disconnect from work, then you put your phone off. Michael Hyatt was a great example of this. He puts it in this bucket. When he gets home, he turns it off and he dedicates that first portion of him being home to be completely present and with his children, with his wife, whatever that looks like. I think it starts with a good intention, but until those intentions become habits and you start doing it consistently, that's where you see the fruit of that intention.
I like that. It's like intention plus action is when you start to see the outcome and the result of that. So, so we have I have a challenge for you then in the next little couple minutes here. And just before that, I mean, obviously, like, a lot of our audience is real estate agents. We work with a lot of realtors when it comes to lead gen. And so my first challenge for you guys is you might have good intentions about where you want to take your business or what you want to do with leads. But it's so important to realize that it's actually the direction, the steps that you're taking that are going to ultimately determine that. And that's the little things that you're doing every single day. Yeah. And I've just seen that play out so many times with our top real estate agents that are using our platform. It's the day in, day out that they see these huge results, and they have determined their destination and they reach their destination. I think that's what is year after year, they seem to do what other people think is impossible. And it's because early on they set their destination, not because they said, I have this goal and I'm going to achieve it. I mean, that probably is part of it, but it's almost more what they did a year ago that has now determined where they end up a year later, and they stayed consistent on that path.
I mean, I think of our best agents, and I think of their consistency. I think of their disciplines. I think of the fact that they dedicate a certain portion of their day on the business, and there's a non-negotiable about that. And you see that like over and over and over again, is that those who really dedicate themselves to the process, really dedicate themselves to the psychology process portion of it as well, and then they integrate it in their day every day. They win every time. And it's not something that you can just, I'm going to do lead generation, and, I'll get back to him on my own time, or, I'll try out this system today. And then if I find like something someone shows me 3 days later works better, then I'll fly to that one. And, so much inconsistency there. Like you cannot really truly measure your results unless you're consistently doing the same thing over and over again for what I feel is a minimum of 3 to 6 months, and even longer if you're looking at a nurturing process with these, with specifically social media generated leads, who seem to be a lot longer in terms of a maturation process. So that being said, there are ways to speed up that relationship. There are ways to really humanize the process. There are ways to really dive in deep, but then you have to become a master at communication. Then you have to become a master at influence. And you also have to be a master of providing value, getting face-to-face, helping these people who really don't know what they're sometimes there for, other than maybe specifically wanting to see a certain type of property, or they want to get some information about the value of their home. But you take them from that to really communicate and become an expert and undiscover their true motivation. And if you do that, ask the right questions, they start trusting you, build some rapport, and then in time, that becomes a relationship, and that relationship pays dividends. And that's where you be building your business. And you also find that you will get a lot of returning customers. You'll get referrals because you've done such great, such great work with them, and they become your friends, and they part of your community. And ultimately, that's what we're looking for, right? Is that we want to really become a relationship focused business.
Mm-hmm. So the challenge for you today, and it's a challenge for us too, is to think about one area of your life where you know that you have great intentions, but if you're going to be honest with yourself, you're missing the impact, where you're not seeing the results in that area. And I mean, I can think of a few right now instantaneously in my own life.
Yeah.
So my challenge would be, think of that area, think of it where you specifically just pick one to start with, and be honest with yourself, and then decide, okay, what are you going to do today? And what are you going to do to course correct that? And here's I just kind of want to end this. And Andy was mentioning this too. He basically said, the reason counselors seem so smart, when you're sitting there and you're telling your story on, the chair, and you're expressing all your feelings, and they almost seem like they don't even, they might even be writing on their grocery list as a joke, right? They're not, but they're paying attention. But the point is that we feel that our story is so unique, but really we fall into so many similar patterns that these counselors see over and over and over again. And they all know, just like any good coach knows, there is no quick fix.
No.
All that a coach and a counselor do is they listen to you. They know where you want to go, but they can clearly see the outcome of where you are going, and they help you course correct.
Yeah.
And by course correcting you, they know that if you follow that process, and that they can build into you, or a great coach, you can think of any great coach, helps just keep you on that path, then you see the results that you're ultimately looking for. In a world where we live, where there's quick fixes, there just isn't. But if you recognize that it's actually what you do each day in terms of the direction that you go that ultimately determines your destination, it's very freeing, because you can actually achieve anything you want in life if you put your mind to it. You just need to recognize that it's what you're doing today that matters. It's not what you're going to do right before the goal that you're hoping to achieve. It's the right now. And yeah, it's a powerful revelation.
I love that. I mean, you could be 1 degree off, and just a slight shift, and you're right exactly where you need to be. So yeah, find out what that is for you. Find out what that one thing is. We always want to leave you with one thing that we want you to take away. What do you need to course correct in your life? What direction do you need to shift in? We're here to help you. Comment below. It could be directly related to your business, could be related to your relationships, time with your family, goals that you have. We want to help you. We want to hold you accountable in a positive way, and create community around this. So
comment below, subscribe if you enjoy these videos and you'd like to see more. Also, Marcus and I are also releasing a conversion course that you can get early access to just below this video. If you click on it, it'll say how to make $1 million in commissions without even having to pick up the phone. And it's a collection of all of our top agents, and we put together this course to help you convert leads specifically for real estate agents. So if you'd like that, you can grab that by clicking that link below. It'll be in the description here just below this video. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day.